For today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to do 2 different cat beanies for beginners. So we're first going to start off by making a slip knot. If you don't know how to make a slip knot, you want to make a loop with your fingers like this. And then you want to hold your working yarn. Your working yarn is what's connected to the ball. You want to fold it so the working yarn is inside of the middle. And then you want to grab it and pull up. So the next thing you want to do is chain enough till it wraps around your whole head. Let's just fake like this is you. I do hope that your hair isn't like this, but let's just say this is you. You want your chains to wrap around your whole head. So let's see if it fits. It actually does kind of fit. Not really, because like I'm pulling it really tightly. So I'm going to chain more. And you honestly want yours to be like 1 or 2 chains more than your head, because you want it to be kind of just not tight. Because like, what if you have a different hairstyle another day and like you're like, oh my god, this won't fit. So you want to have it kind of like hers now. Kind of like loose. Not quite on, but okay, now that you're back with your chains, what wraps around your head perfectly, you want to keep it on the right side. The right side is where you can see only 2 loops. On the back side is where you see 3 loops. So you want to keep it on the 2 loop side and have it all flat out like that. And make it inside of a circle like this. Now that's in a circle, you want to put your loop back on your hook and then take your very first loop and then go under this chain right here. Once you're under it, you want to take your yarn and then make a slip knot. The slip knot is just yarning over and then pulling through both of the loops. And now you have your beginning. You're about to make it. Okay, now that you slip knot it, you want to chain 2. Once you chain 2, you want to do a double crochet into the same place that you slip knotted in. So you yarn over, and so you see this is the next one, and this is the one we just went into. Go inside the same one. And now you want to yarn over, and then pull up 1 loop. Once you pull up 1 loop, you're going to have 3 loops on your hook. Then you want to yarn over, and then pull through 2 loops. And you'll have your last 2 loops on your hook. You want to yarn over and pull through 2 again. And you made a double crochet. Now we're going to do that one more time. Well, actually more than 1 time, but I'm just going to show you one more time. So you yarn over, go inside your next one, yarn over again and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull up 2 loops, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops again. Now we're just going to do double crochets all around until you get to your last stitch, and I'll be right with you when you're done with that. Now I have 3 more double crochets to do, so let's just do that and then I'll show you what to do for the rest. Now, you see I'm on my last one. Once you make it back, your row should look like this with no twist in it. As you can see, these are the 2 chains that we made, and we want to do a slip stitch inside of the first one that we made. So you want to skip the 2 and go inside of here. And then you want to yarn over and then pull through all 3. And now we're done with row 1. To start row 2, we're going to chain up 2. Once you've chained up 2, we're actually not going to keep crocheting this way. We're going to flip our work to the other side. This is to keep the seam nice and clean. So we're going to yarn over, and we're actually going to skip this one right here because this is our slip stitch. You never want to double crochet inside your slip stitch because then you're going to be technically increasing. So you want to keep doing your double crochets, always skipping the first one, your slip stitch, and then double crocheting across the round. So for every single row that we do, we're going to double crochet all across till we get to the end, and then we're going to slip stitch into the first one, skipping the two, only the first one, and then we're going to chain up two, turn, I was like confused, but then turn, and then skip your slip stitch, and then go inside the second one. Quick tip, if you notice that your seam has very huge holes, like let's say that it was like this big, in order to not have that, say you're on your last one, you want to make your double crochet, and then when you go into this one, you want to pull super tight, or like just enough, so it doesn't look too different from the rest, but not too loose. Oops. And as you pull it, and now it just looks like a crochet. Let's zoom in. Maybe, yeah, you'll probably still see the seam. I can still find my seam. It's right here, but it's not as noticeable. Okay, and now that you're back with all of your 8 rows of double crochet, when you're on your last stitch, you want to yarn over, go inside of your last one, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and with 2 on your hook, you then want to grab your other different color. I'm using pink, so I'm going to make a slip knot. And then you want to add it on to your hook and then pull it a little tight so it fits. And then use that to yarn over. And then you want to pull your brown yarn. You can cut your brown yarn, but I recommend keeping it on for now. So, and then you want to go into your first one like you do every single one. And now we're just going to be working with the pink yarn. So make your slip stitch. And that is a perfect color change. Now you want to chain up your 2 and turn your work. Now if you cut your brown yarn, then do this too. So you grab your pink yarn, your pink tail, yarn over, skip your slip stitch, and go in here and make your double crochet. The pink row is the exact same as the brown rows, just only go for one round. So for one row, just do pink double crochets. Okay, now we can see that we have one more left, and now we can do yarn over, go in a loop, yarn over, pull up 1, yarn over, pull through 2. In our last 2, we're going to drop the pink, and then grab the brown, and then pull it up to yarn over. Now, if you did cut your yarn, don't worry, you can do the same method we did here, but doing it this way would be so much faster. So remember, skip your 2, go in here, yarn over with your brown, and pull through. And now you want to chain up 2 again, flip your work, and then work your double crochets in brown all the way till you get to the other side. Okay, and I have 2 more left for this row. I'm gonna finish this up. And for the color changes, we do the exact same thing, which is going inside the loop, pulling up 1, pulling up 2, 2 in your loop, put this down and then grab your pink yarn and make your yarn over. And then we're gonna do our slip knot, skipping the 2, going inside. We also want to grab the pink, kind of. So like, you see this? We're gonna grab the pink. You don't have to, I just do it. Like, you literally don't have to do this at all. But anyways, yarn over, pull it through. Doesn't really make a difference, it's just dragging it along. And now we're just gonna chain up 2. Turn our work. Now for the next couple of rows, we're gonna do 1 more pink row, and then we're gonna change finally back to brown, and then we're gonna do 4 rows of the brown, and we're gonna literally be done. So do 1 more row of pink and then 4 rows of brown, and I'll be right back with you guys. Once you get to your brown layer, you want to then cut your pink yarn. I would definitely recommend cutting it before you start this round, because then, you know, you wouldn't have to sew it in. But I personally don't mind sewing it in right now, so cut it. If you're sewing it in, at least cut it like right here is what I recommend. So, and make sure this doesn't come loose. I have 1 more double crochet to do until we're done. So make your double crochet. And now you want to slip stitch to the top, skipping the 2. Oh my god, you guys already know this already. Yarn over, pull through. But now we're actually going to chain up 1, but we're going to take our yarn and we're going to make a very long tail. So you want to make your tail long enough so you can sew on the top. So I'm going to make me like basically just measuring out the top with the yarn. This is how I do it. I know it's not very good method, but it works for me. So then cut your yarn, and I don't feel like getting my scissors, so I'm using this, what came with my kit. If you guys want my kit, what I had since forever when I first started crocheting, then it's actually down below in the description. Now once you cut your yarn, you want to just take it and then just pull it, and there you go. Now you tighten it up, and we just finished off. But now here comes the most funnest part. So fun. We're gonna be sewing our stuff together. So you want to take your needle at least big enough so it can go through your yarn. You don't want to have a very tiny one and your yarn is big, because then it will do like a yarn split, and you do not want that. It's like so horrible. To sew your work together, you want to put it on the bad side. For me, this is my bad side, because like yeah, so flip it on the side that you think is horrible. You want to sew by going inside this first loop right here. Actually going to go inside the front loop. The front loop is what's close to you, and the back loop is what's furthest away from you. So in your first one, you want to go inside your first stitch, and then you want to grab the other side and go inside of the back one. So remember, furthest to you is your front, farther away is the back, so go inside of the back. And now you just want to pull it through. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more time. We're going to go inside of the front loop for the next stitch, and then the back loop, and pull it through. Now you want to keep this up till you reach the end of your row. So we want to go front loop, back loop, and pull, front loop, back loop, and pull. when you're at the end on your very last stitch, it's gonna look very bunched up and pretty weird. So just try your best to go inside of one and then go inside of the other one. Just make sure that bad baby is tucked. Now you want to pull it not too much because we don't want it to be all bunched up. Now you're done, but in order for this to not come loose, you want to sew it in. You want to sew it in. So you can really just do anything right now, but just go up one and then pull it, and then you can go down it. Like we're just doing this to the top of the seam. Pull. Go over here again. Pull. And one more time. And now we're gonna go back. Now we're done, and you can just cut this off. So I probably should get some real scissors now for this, but yep, you should get real scissors for this. With your loose tails like this, you want to do exactly what I just showed you how to do, and you won't even have to like weave this whole long thing in. You can just do it till you think it's secure. And when you flip it around, you literally have your cat beanie. So congrats to you. There's nothing to it. Just put your cat beanie on and your ears will appear. And here she goes. She's rocking her new cat beanie. I mean, where's the seam, guys? Where is the seam? You can't see it. It's John Cena! Okay, on to the next cat beanie. For this cat beanie, we're gonna do things a little different from the first one because when I was a beginner and learned how to make a cat beanie, it was not the best. It was really complicated with the, like, you know, slip stitching and all of that. So, I'm gonna show you a different way. So, make your slip knot. And like we did for the last one, chain how much you need to wrap around your whole entire head. And remember, chain enough so it can wrap around your whole entire head and also leave a bit of wiggle room. Now that we have all of our chains, you can do it the exact same way we did it last time, which is laying it on the front side and wrapping it inside of a circle like this, and then slip stitching. So I'm going to show you how to do that again. Insert your hook right in here, but make sure that your yarn isn't twisted. And what I mean by not twisted, you see how it's flipped over and then it just like, basically, let's say you have this part on the front side and then this part turns to the back side and this side is the front side. So it's not all straight. You want to have it all straight and then slip stitch like that. And for the second option, we're not going to do any slip stitching. We're just going to work like this. So if you're slip stitching, you want to chain up 2 and then follow what I'm about to do now. But if you're doing it this way, just follow what I'm about to do right now. Basically the same thing I just said. Now that we have all of our chains, you then want to yarn over and then go inside this loop. Remember, we never go inside this loop right here. You want to go inside of the second loop. And then you want to yarn over and then pull through one. And then after that, you want to yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's how you do a half double crochet. So you yarn over, go inside the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops. And you want to continue that pattern all the way till you get to the end of your string chains. Yarn over, go inside the next loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull the 2 loops. And this is the last one. Make sure you're going inside of this one too. Once you're done, you want to then chain 1 and then turn your work. Now you want to yarn over, skip this chain that we made, and then go inside of this. You want to go under 2 of the loops. So skip the chain that you made and go under the 2 loops. Yarn over, go under 2 loops, yarn over again, pull up that 2 loops, yarn over, and then pull through all 3. And you want to just keep doing this for just 1 more row. And I'll tell you what to do later on. Go inside the last one. It's kind of hard to see, but you'll have to turn it a bit and then you will see your double crochet. So go in here, yarn over, and pull up 1 loop. Only 1. And then on the last 3, you want to drop your white yarn and then grab your other yarn. So I'm going to use this green yarn and I'm going to take it. Quick tip, you should use the yarn from the middle. So just pull it and yeah, because it's way better than just yanking it from the side. I like to pull it from the middle. Okay, and then you want to make a slip knot with your other color, which is just, again, making a loop with your fingers, folding it on your working yarn, make sure it's in the middle, and then pulling it up. If I can get it. Okay, there it goes. And now with your other yarn, you want to hook it on there and then pull through all of the 3. And with your green yarn, you want to then chain up 2 and turn your work. Now you want to cut your white yarn. So grab your scissors and cut it. Although these aren't scissors, it's ring scissors, I guess. Ring scissor. Cut enough to actually weave in. Can't actually see right now, but I'll get closer. Okay, so cut enough to weave it in. So grab both of your yarns, your yarn tails, and then pull it up here. And you want to line it up with the top, okay? So yarn over, skip your chain 2s, and then go in here. But you also want to go under this, like this. This is just a way so you don't have to actually weave it in. So yarn over, pull through all of it, yarn over, and then pull through 3. And then keep doing it until there's no more tail. And now with this little bit, you can just cut it, but since I don't have my real scissors right now, I'm just gonna lay it to the side. Now you want to just keep half double crocheting all across to the end, and then I'll show you what to do next. Once you get to the end of your row, you then want to chain up 2, turn your work, and you want to keep this up for the entire pattern. We're not changing any more colors, we're just going to do all half double crochets in green. And I'll meet back with you when you're done with your rows. Now that you're done with all of your 15 rows, you then want to chain up 1 and cut your yarn how much you think it will take to sew this whole thing along together. So yours might look like this, but folded, so it's like this. This is going to be the side of your hat. Now just make a long tail tracing this, and get your scissors and cut it. Now we're just going to put this to the side and make our star. First we're going to be sewing the side of the hat, so turn it to the side. Make sure it's lined up pretty well. And now you want to put your yarn inside of your your needle. And now, as you can tell, these aren't actually loops, it's just the rows. So for each row, this was the row that we just did, you want to go inside of here, go under both of them, and then go under these too, and pull it through. Now, as you can see, the second row, you want to go under here, and then go under your second row for here too, and then pull through. Now to actually count your rows, you can see it's like one big blotch here, another one, and another one. You want to just connect it to these ones, and that's how you connect your rows. So that's how you sew it. So you go under your blotch, and then you go under the next row, go under one row, and then another row. Continue to do this all across the row, and I'll be right back with you when you're done. And once you get done with your row, you then want to, remember, go back up the other direction. It's like this. Don't stab yourself though. And then continue to go up. Just making sure that it's secure, but apparently this is all that it wants to go, and this is all that it really needs. So take your scissors and then cut it off. And I'm here again with these dangerous freaking ring. And for this tail, you weave it in the exact same way we weave this in. Now all you want to do is flip your work inside out, and your seam will disappear. Well, not really, but it'll just be so much more easier than the other way. And it's barely noticeable. Now we're about to sew on the star. Now on to sew on the star. I like this side, you know, the side with the tail. I'm actually going to use this side to be my outside. So you want to stick your needle inside the middle. This is only if you want it to be on this side too. But stick your needle inside of the middle, and then put your yarn inside of it. Now that you have it in the back, you then want to connect it to your needle again. And you want to put it where you want your star to be. You can have your star over here, or in the middle is where I'm going to put mine. So you want to stick it right in the middle. Try to get it close in the center as you can. And putting it inside of here is just to keep it like secure and safe. Well, it's really just to hold it down while we sew it on. Now you want to take the other tail and then put it on your needle. So as you see, we have our chains here, like the braids, and we're just going to take our needle and go down and go all the way down into the hat, and then take your needle and then go up. So take your needle and then go down the braid and then go up inside of the hat. And come out anywhere, but try to come out close. Guys, I honestly just forgot to record how I ended the process. So when you're done, you know how we got the needle and we like put it through here and we pulled it out to put the star on here? You want to do the exact same thing with this tail. So you want to put it in there and then pull it out. And once you do that, you want to tie the ends together with the yarn that we put the star on with and the yarn that we just sewed the star on with. I just said the same thing over and over again, but I hope you understand. And then tie your yarn, and we're actually going to do one more thing to make sure that it's really secure. Okay, so this is the inside of the hat, and you want to choose the tail that you just sewed the star on with. So put that on your, oh my gosh, put that on your needle, and so you want to go under one green loop and then pull it up. And you want to make sure that it's inside of the star, because if you do it in like just a green one over here, then it's going to show through, so make sure it's inside of the star part. So really you can just keep going zigzag with this, just probably like 2 or 1 time or 3, just to make sure that it's secure. And then you can just get your scissors and then cut off. But I'm actually going to tie mine one more time. And I highly suggest that you do it too. And then you can just cut off your yarn. Now we have to sew on the top of the hat. Now to sew close the top, you're going to take your color that you used for the whole beanie and then make a slip knot. And then you want to insert your hook and then take a side, like you see how our hat is folded down like a rectangle. Take a side and then put your hook inside and yarn over. So you insert your hook and then you yarn over and then make a basically slip knot and then yarn over and then pull through. Basically do a chain. And now you want to cut your yarn. Cut it for as long as you think is going to be needed to sew the top together. So I just lined mine up like this and went this way and then that way and then cut it. If you can see it. So it's basically like, I actually don't know how much this is, but just cut it pretty long. And then you want to take your hook and then pull it. Then it will come off. Since I showed you guys how to close up the top on the other beanie, I'm not going to go as slow. I'm just going to show you guys one more time if needed. So, you go under the front loop of your next stitch and then the back loop of the one opposite to it. And then you pull through. And then you want to repeat the same thing across the whole row. So go under the front loop and then the back loop, then you pull through. Front loop, back loop, and then pull. So you just want to keep this up until you reach the end of your work. Once you get done sewing the top of your hat, then here is your amazing cat beanie. Now I really hope you guys enjoyed this video because I definitely did enjoy teaching you guys. If you still have questions, then you can talk to me down below inside of the chat and I'll answer you as quickly as I possibly can. If you're feeling down about your work, maybe not looking like a 5-star meal, then don't be. This is my first ever cat beanie and I mean look at it. What's going on here? And look at the seam. Do you see that? The seam? It got all holes in it. Just big old holes. And all this yarn coming off. I do certainly hope you feel better about yours now. And you enjoy your cute little cat beanie. And I do hope that it comes out better than this one. Yeah, we're just going to put that to the side. Just going to scoot it over there. So, I really hope you like this tutorial, and if you like this tutorial, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more good beginner and advanced crochets.